students, welcome once again. Now I'm going to start the worksheet dated 17th February. So the first question is all about plotting a graph. But the question did not mention what kind of graph we have to draw. It's only written that draw a graph. Now whenever you see this kind of question, you have to decide what kind of graph you are going to draw. Whether it will be a histogram or a bar graph or a pie chart or a line graph or a linear graph. So by looking at the question, the best possibilities are of drawing two types of graph. First one is bar graph and second one is line graph. If you ask me, I'd always go for line graph because it is much easier than drawing a bar graph and it is less time consuming also. So here also for this question you should draw line graph. Now I'm not going to show how to draw a line graph because you already know, I believe. But however, I like to show you few steps or few things which must be keep in mind while drawing graphs or any kind of graphs. Let us consider these are the two axes on which we will draw the bar graph or line graph. So this axis, which is horizontal axis, is known as x-axis. So on the graph paper, you should draw these two axes and then mark this arrow and then label it as x-axis. On the other hand, the vertical one is known as y-axis. Now while drawing line graph or bar graph, we usually divide the horizontal axis into equal parts using scale. Okay, use scale, not hand. Use scale and divide the line segment into equal parts. And then on the other hand, the y-axis, this can be also divided into equal half or equal parts using scale. When you mark these marks, I mean to say when you write something below these marks, suppose A, B, C or some numbers can be also written. So in that case, always keep in mind if the gaps are equal, then after writing this point as 0, we don't have to do anything else. But if the gaps are unequal, for example, on the y-axis, I'm going to take the scale starting from 50, 50, 60, 70, because all the values are above or uh, at 50, but not below than that. So I have started from 50. But in this case, there is one problem. Since the values are starting from 50 and they are going 10 by 10 gap, but from 0 to 50, the gap is not 10, isn't it? In that case, we use zigzag line. So you can draw a simple zigzag like this on the given line. So these things are important. And the last thing is to write scale. What is scale? How in how many parts you have divided the entire line and what values you are writing that is included in scale. For example, in this case, the y-axis is going by 10 unit gap, right? So I should write one square box, one square box. Why one square box? Because whenever you draw graph, we always draw on a graph paper, isn't it? A graph paper looks like this where many lines are drawn like this. Okay, so these small parts is known as square. So since we are marking here, suppose this is 0, this is 50, this is 60. So this point is actually representing one square. So we usually write one square box or only one square is equals to 10 units. 10 units because you are going by 10 10 gap. If you write 10, 15, 20, 25, that means this time you are going 5 gaps, so you should write 1 square equal to 5 units. So like this you should mention the scale. So writing y an arrow, x an arrow, this 0 mark and zigzag line wherever possible, and the scale, these are essential things while drawing a graph. Keep in mind, otherwise you will not get full marks. I hope you understood how to draw graph now. Now let's go for the question number 2. In question number 2, there is a graph already given. So I'll try to draw the rough sketch of the graph if possible. Let me try. Okay, I have to choose another graph. Wait. This one. So the question somehow look like this, that this is 0 mentioned as per the question. Here we have 20, then 40, then 60, then 80 and then 100. And here these are all representing temperature in degree Celsius. In degree Celsius. Okay, temperature. That means it's 20 degree, 40 degree, 60 degree, 80 degree, 100 degree. On the other hand, the x-axis or this horizontal line is representing some other values. Is given 10, this is 20, and this is 30. So in this case, this is going by 10 gap, 50, 60, 70, and then the graph goes from started from actually 20 to 100, 20 to 100 like this, and then it goes straight for up to 70, and then it came down and touched 70. So this is the rough sketch of the graph which is given in your question. Now let us solve this. Before that, let me tell you that this is representing time. So this is time and this is temperature. So when the time increases, temperature also increasing. That's what it is mentioning. Now in question number 1, you already have the worksheet, I believe. I'll explain the worksheet questions with the help of this graph. First question, for how many seconds did the ice block have no change in temperature? So ice block, as per the above question, the following graph shows the change in temperature of a block of ice when heated. Now see, block of ice looks like a cuboid. एक बड़ा सा बर्फ का टुकड़ा ऐसा होता है, and it is already very cold, below 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस. So अगर तुम इसमें टेम्परेचर दोगे नीचे में, आग लगा दोगे नीचे में, तब भी ये immediately melt down होना शुरू नहीं होगा, right? It will not start melting down. It will take some time to melt down. Am I right? So when the time starts after putting fire below the ice block, then immediately it doesn't start melting. So it takes some time, and that's why the temperature remains same. You see the graph starting from this point. That means the temperature remains same for certain amount of time. Okay. So for how long the temperature remains same? The gap is 20. That means 20 seconds. So for question number 1, the answer will be 20 seconds. The temperature remains same in the ice block. Next, question number 2 में ये दिया गया है, for how long was there a change in temperature? Temperature कब तक change हुआ है, कितना time तक change हुआ? तो देखो, the temperature started rising from this point and it stopped here because after this कोई flat line है, मतलब चेंज कहाँ तक हो रहा है, यहाँ से लेके यहाँ तक चेंज हो रहा है. तो अगर हम लोग टाइम में देखेंगे तो पॉइंट यहाँ से शुरू हुआ था, 20 सेकेंड से शुरू हुआ था और खत्म हो गया 50 सेकेंड के ऊपर. ग्राफ थोड़ा सा टेढ़ा मैंने ड्रॉ किया, बट कंसीडर दिस इज अबव 50. तो अगर 20 से लेकर 50 तक गया था तो टोटल कितना टाइम ट्रेवल किया? 30 सेकेंड ट्रेवल किया, बिकॉज 10 सेकेंड, 20 सेकेंड, 30 सेकेंड. तो दैट्स व्हाई द आंसर फॉर द क्वेश्चन नंबर 2 विल बी 30 सेकेंड. 30 सेकेंड. Now question number 3. After how many seconds of heating did the temperature become constant as 0 degree Celsius? टेम्परेचर यहाँ पे 0 है, फिर से 0 कहाँ पे टच हुआ है? देखो यहाँ पे टच हुआ है, बिकॉज ये जो टेम्परेचर 0 में है ये तो स्टार्ट हुआ है बढ़ना, राइट? ये इंक्रीज होना शुरू हुआ था, तो इसको कंसिडर नहीं करेंगे. टेम्परेचर ऐसे बढ़ के फिर ऊपर जाके फिर नीचे आ गया, तो टेम्परेचर 0 यहाँ पे हो गया था. करेक्ट चिल्ड्रन? तो यहाँ पे पूछा गया कि टेम्परेचर ये जो पॉइंट 0 था वहां से लेके फिर से 0 कब आया? यहाँ पे आया. तो टाइम कितना लगा? 70 सेकेंड. So the answer will be 70 seconds. Now question number 4. Question number 4 में ये बोला गया है, what was the temperature after 25 second? 25 सेकेंड के बाद टेम्परेचर कितना है? तो 20 ये है, 30 ये है, 25 तो इसके बीच में होगा, मान लो यहाँ पे है. तो इससे अगर हम लोग एक स्ट्रेट लाइन ड्रॉ करते हैं ऐसा, तो देखोगे ये पूरा 20 के सामने होता है. ओके, तो हम लोग लिख सकते हैं इसको 20 या अप्रोक्सीमेट 20 लिख सकते हैं इसका आंसर. तो अप्रोक्सीमेट 20 डिग्री सेल्सियस, ये है क्वेश्चन नंबर 4 का आंसर. नाउ क्वेश्चन नंबर 5 का आंसर लिखा रहा हूं. What will be the temperature after 1.5 minutes? देखो 1.5 मिनट्स को अगर तुम लोग टोटल सेकेंड्स में कन्वर्ट करोगे तो तुमको मिलेगा 90 सेकेंड्स. सॉरी 90 सेकेंड्स, इजंट इट? 70 सेकेंड में ही टेम्परेचर 0 हो गया था, तो इसके बाद टेम्परेचर जितना भी टाइम जितना भी बढ़े टेम्परेचर वही रहेगा, बिकॉज आफ्टर वन पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम यहाँ पे देखो टेम्परेचर पहुंच गया था 100 डिग्री सेल्सियस. दैट मीन्स द वाटर विल स्टार्ट बॉइलिंग. ज़्यादा बॉयल होगा तो पानी तो इवापोरेट होगा, इवापोरेट होने के बाद तो पानी रहेगा ही नहीं, तो टेम्परेचर रहेगा ही नहीं, तो 0 डिग्री में आ जाएगा. तो उसके बाद तुम जितना भी टेम्परेचर दो वो रहेगा ही नहीं पानी, तो टेम्परेचर कितना होगा? 0 ही रहेगा. तो इट विल रिमेन कांस्टेंट, इट विल रिमेन एट 0 आफ्टर 70 सेकेंड. तो यहाँ पूछा गया है कि 1.5 मिनट के बाद, 1.5 मिनट्स के बाद टेम्परेचर कितना होगा? टेम्परेचर होगा 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस. So this is the answer of question number 2. And with this, the worksheet is over. Thank you.